Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV for another pre-match therapy session. We're back tonight. We face Newcastle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we will be delving into the wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur for the next hour or so. And then straight after us, you've got the We Are Tottenham TV watch along, followed by the post-match fan show as well. So loads going on. I'm joined tonight, as always, by Jimbo, by Mr. Dermatron from THFC Till We Die, and by Harry Scarf from Scarfy's podcast. I don't know.
Scarfy's personal, nearly. You get better though each week. I love it.
I'm nearly there.
nearly.
Jimbo, first of all, how you doing?
Good, thanks, darling. Got butterflies for tonight.
Yeah, I hear you. I have too. Dermatron, how you feeling tonight?
Fully confident, 4-0 coming in. We're going to smash them. I fancy a bit of magpie tonight with a few mashed potatoes, a bit of veg, some gravy, and then lovely bit of roly-poly afterwards. If it's good for Harry Redknapp, it's good for me. Come on, you Spurs. Relegation? Yeah. What are they talking about?
And Mr. Harry Scarf, long time no see. How you doing?
Absolutely. No, all good. Thank you. Thanks for having me once again. To be honest with you, my head and heart says a different thing for tonight, but still looking forward to discussing it. It's a very key game. And, when you're worrying about West Ham's result, that things are concerning. But hopefully, the crowd get behind the team. We put in a good performance and we get a result, because that's what we all want. How we feel about the manager, the owners, the board, the players. We want Tottenham to win tonight, and fingers crossed we can get a result. And it's quite encouraging that Newcastle have got bad away form, as bad as our home form. So I suppose they counter each other out, but we need a win, particularly at home.
Exactly that. Big up to Moondog, coming straight in with a super chat saying 2-1 to the mighty Spurs tonight. Come on, you Spurs. Loving that positivity, Moondog. We need something tonight, that's for sure. Before we delve into tonight's match, I think it's only right that we touch on Manchester United and also, how can I put it? The ridiculous actions.
The bozo
moment of Christian Romero. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to swear, so we'll call it the bozo moment. Dermot, thoughts on the match, and also what are your thoughts on Romero getting sent off?
If I'm being honest, I thought we started the game quite well. I thought the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes were in that game. And then Bozo the Clown came in and put his big tackle with his big boots in. Was it a sending off? There's arguments there wasn't. I had an argument with my co-host. It wasn't. He says it wasn't. I think it was the letter of the law. He had to go, but still, he was still losing for 4 games. And I thought we did well to keep it 1-0, actually. And I thought the fight was there, but yeah, it's disappointing result. And, it just leads us into tonight, doesn't it? Full of no confidence within the squad, no confidence. The manager is trying his best now, but yeah, I think it was a game we should have won, really, or got a point out of. But I think Romero cost us that, and I think, for me personally, I think Romero wants out of this football club. I really do. I don't think you're a captain. I mean, I can remember the big Steve Perriman. Would he do something like that? No, he would stand there and be counted. You look at Gary Mabbott. You look at Graham Roberts, you look at the players of the past, all physical players, all would put a boot in. The game's changed, yes, but I think Romero's doing it too often now. That's his 6th sending off in all competitions. He's 4th in the Premier League, the same as Kabul. And no other Tottenham players got sent more than Romero. So even Roy Keane wasn't that much of a liability when he was doing it at Man United. He's becoming a liability now. And not really my captain sort of. I'd rather give the captaincy to Mickey van der Ven. Yeah. I think he gives you more. So sad, because he is one of our best. Fans will get behind him. He's vocal on social media, and the fans will get behind that. And against the board, he will get support for that. But you need to do your talking on the pitch, and he doesn't, sadly.
Yeah, I agree. Harry, obviously, like I said, the same as Dermot, do your talking on the pitch, leave social media to someone else. And then he goes and does that. And I'm also of the agreement that I thought we was well in the game up until the red card. What did you make of it all?
I love Romero, but that was a stupid moment that impacted the game. And I believe that we wouldn't have been in that situation. We lose 2-0. I think we're forced to change tactics and Oliver withdrawn. So, Romero put us in a difficult situation. Where I don't agree is I think that Romero does his talking on the pitch. I think Romero, he's got far too many red cards since joining the club. Nobody's got more than him, since joining in the Premier League. That is inexcusable. That's a lack of discipline. So often Romero's aggression is used to his advantage, but over-aggression is never good for any player. And this, in my opinion, if I'm being honest with you, I think it's a stonewall red card. Whether we agree with the direction the game's going or not, or officiating, I have my own opinions. As a younger fan, I don't agree with it. I think it's far too soft. You should be able to put a hand on someone, go through someone within reason, and it be okay. But the reality is this is a red card if it happens tonight, tomorrow, whatever referee. So we talk about consistency. This decision will be given a red card. We gave 100 referees this decision. Every one of them would be given a red card, and I'm extremely confident of that. For me, Romero, in some ways, is a fantastic captain, in some ways, an awful captain. I think he's a great captain because a captain speaks on how the players are feeling. They, speak up for the fans, but in particular how the players are feeling in the dressing room. And the fact that the players like his social media posts tells me they feel the same about the owners and the board. That's a good captain for me. But also, as you said there, on the pitch, do your stuff. And it's a little bit rich when you sit here, and he's right in what he's saying, but it's rich when you go, we're down to just 11 senior players second half against City, and then you are out of a decision of your own. I'm sure a mistake, absolutely, I know, but he's what he's done over aggression. He's now missing 4 games. And where we are right now in the table, the games we've got coming up, the players we've got available, that's not good. So it's not a good look on that part from Christian Romero. You'd be crazy to defend that. I personally would rather him be captain. I get the call for Van der Ven, but for me, this is a guy that the manager and Thomas Rankin refused to clap the fans at the end of the game. Okay, through frustration, but for me, that isn't a captain. And you're right, there is too much of messaging on social media and that kind of thing from someone that benefits and uses social media a lot. I'd much rather that be shown on the pitch and quality. But I will just remind people that Newcastle are the opponents tonight, and he scored the 2 goals in the game when we last played them this season. So I think he's a world-class player. Of course, discipline's a huge issue.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jimbo, I was one of the people very vocal about Sonny, didn't think he was captain material. However, I take Sonny all day long over Romero simply because I think a captain leads by example on the pitch. 6 red cards, for me, unacceptable. Wholly unacceptable. He should concentrate on defending. He makes decisions to go forward and goes out of position, leaves space. I think his ego needs calming down. Someone put in the chat just now, Poch will straighten out Romero. We just need to wait. I think there's some truth in that, but it all depends of whether Poch comes back. I mean, what are your thoughts on it all?
Well, Harry, you just hit it right on the head where you said he scored the 2 goals against Newcastle, right? So we needed him tonight. So the bozo's done the bozo thing he always does when he loses his head, especially when there's a Brazilian in front of him. And he's cost us. I can't express to you, right, how pissed off we should be as a fan base with him, right? Because we're at a critical point of the season where we're so close to the relegation. We need all hands on deck, and he's an experienced World Cup winner, and we need him more than anything, right? And he's not been rational. He's not thought of from now till the next 4 games. We've lost him. Our captain. I mean, I can't express how pissed off I am and how pissed off the fan base should be with him. He's an idiot, complete idiot. He should have his wits about him and be thinking of of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, right? That we are in a really, really bad position. And anybody who thinks that we can't go down, we can go down. We are that close, right? We've got Newcastle tonight. Very, very, very rarely we get anything out of that game of late, right? We got Arsenal. We haven't took points off them or 3 points off them since 2021. I mean, it's the next 2 games. Let's say West Ham beat Man United tonight. Within like that, within a few weeks, we could be in the relegation. So he's an idiot, an absolute idiot, and he's not thought of us, the fans, right, and his teammates, and he's just gone in and done a stupid tackle, which he didn't need to do, right? So it's cost us 3 points potentially against Man United. We've lost him tonight. We haven't got Dan Sosa. Dragusin has to come in, right? and then we got another 3 games without him. It's honestly, it's just they should fine him. He shouldn't get paid till he comes back. They should take his wages away till he comes back. I am absolutely fuming with him. If we go down, it's going to be devastating for this club, and he's going to be part of that. I'm not blaming him for all of it because it's been over a season, but the next 4 games are so important, and we haven't got him. Our captain.
Scott says, how are you so pissed off with him when he's only calling out the board for their bullshit? Look,
I'm not talking about calling out the board.
I was going to say,
I don't give a shit, Scott, what he does on social media. He can do whatever he wants. I can't control that, right?
He's paid to be a defender at the club. He's not paid to be a spokesperson.
But I don't really care about that, Kate. I care about what happens on the football pitch, right? And he's absolutely put us in such a bad position by losing him. He's meant to be one of our best players and our captain, and we've lost him for 4 games of a real crucial time of the season.
No, Jimbo's really disheartened with Spurs, Nick. He really is, and he was so angry. The expletives that come out of his mouth when Romero got sent off, I can't even repeat. Being a lady. I've got to touch on this as well quickly before we go into Newcastle in more depth. Pochettino's done an interview which came out, I think, yesterday or the day before. A brilliant watch if you haven't seen it on Power something or another. It's a great watch, but he's openly twerking for Spurs, saying, you know, all his greatest memories of Spurs, his favourite club, and he wants to win the Premier League. He wants to see win the Champions League. Harry, do you believe he's coming back? And some people are suggesting the deal might already be in place. I mean, what are your thoughts? Because he is openly twerking quite violently, I would say.
That's not the way it's put. But no, it does certainly seem that way. But firstly, of course, as someone that brought happy times to the club, you want to see them speaking good about the club, whether they're going to come back or not. However, from his part, as much as I like to hear it as a Spurs fan, it's a little bit unprofessional, in my opinion, for someone that's in their job. I know it's not a club kind of thing, it's more a national team, but still US national manager, and they want him, they need him, you know, for this up and coming World Cup, and of course he'd be in place there. And I think for Tottenham, you'd be crazy to make a decision on current manager Thomas Frank and any new manager before the summer, because whatever we think of all the managers that are available, a lot can change. We see it in football, right, quite quickly, that especially with form, and anything can happen. So for Spurs, I don't believe there'll be any pre-agreements in place. Look at the January window, right? We knew about all these injuries, the majority of them before the window. We've done nothing. No pre-agreements, no planning. Squad planning doesn't exist at Tottenham, which suggests that no planning exists whatsoever. And I've said it so many times, and I don't know any stronger way of putting it, but the board and the owners have blood on their hands. And if Pochettino returns, I worry about his legacy being ruined, which is often an overused term. But we must not, forget about what Pochettino brought to this club with, the positive football, with the Champions League final, from getting us competing for the title at least 2 seasons in a row. We cannot forget this type of thing. And I know that he'll be let down. And under this new board, it looks like they will be willing to give more time, but even less backing than ever. No backing whatsoever, but we'll give you a little bit of time. That's ridiculous. It's hanging out someone to dry. Relieve them of their pain sometimes, I think, or give them something to fight with. Because we go into anything, Kate, being asked to build a mansion or compete with these mansions and given inferior tools that other competitors have stronger tools. And even Pochettino, who's a miracle worker, he worked miracles at Tottenham, had some good players, a lot of them that he developed. But if you're going to give him nothing, he's going to achieve nothing. Like anybody. I want him back at the club, and I hate to be so negative, but as much as I like to see him here, I don't think we should be making a decision now. And I thought the interview was good. I've only seen clips. I need to see it all. And my half term, that's on my bucket list. It's on my watch list, I should say. So, no, it was a good interview, Jake Humphrey from the High Performance Podcast. I like Pochettino, and I hope he does return, but I don't want his legacy to be ruined. And that is on my mind all the time.
Yeah. Derm, anything you want to add about Pochettino?
I don't want him back. I must be one of the few fans that don't want him back. I called him a snake when he joined Chelsea. I think that did it for me. I think me and a few people, there were great times. Did we win anything? No. We were great getting to a Champions League final. Yeah, yippee. We didn't build on that, did we? I think, look, Poch will probably come.
Hang on, Derm. That wasn't his fault. He wasn't backed.
Yeah, no, it wasn't his fault, but I don't want him back. what we're bringing him back for? We're bringing him back for what? Sentimental reasons? Because the fans are singing for him? Uh, Harry's right. They're not going to back him. And if he comes back, he's going to damage any legacy that he has at this football club within the fan base. We know how fickle we can be. And I know he wants to come back and he wants to win the Premier League. And for me, him going to Chelsea was the nail in the coffin for me. That was the bit that did it for me. If he really cared about us, then he wouldn't have gone to Chelsea. He wouldn't have gone near that football club. But look, if he comes back, I'll support him. Of course I will. I'll support any manager that comes in, manages our football club. But I'm one of the few, I don't want him back. I'm sorry. And if that makes people hate me for it, that's just my opinion. And I'm probably off Jim's Christmas list now. And I'm devastated over that. But it's just how I feel. I'm sorry.
You should know me better than that, Dermot. No, I don't criticise people if they don't like a player or a manager. Well, I never do that. Everyone's got their own choice of who they like. But Destiny 5 just said, called me a sausage, said he was backed. There was 3 windows. We never spent a penny under him.
No, Destiny said he wasn't backed.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I thought you said he was backed.
Destiny won't ever say a word against Poch. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, he wasn't backed. He had 3 windows where, my glasses are a bit, because I'm further away from the screen. I can't read things properly. But it's 3 windows. He wasn't backed, which was massive, which I don't. I said to Kate, I think Poch should go because you could see he was starting to look ill. Where he was so under pressure, and I felt so sorry for him because what they should have done when we got to the Champions League final is they should have gone, right, it's so many hundreds of millions, let's kick on from here, and they didn't do it. But I would love to see him back. And Dermot, you know me, I don't care. You don't want him back.
That, bud. I know that, bud.
Everyone's got their own personal opinion on what manager they want, but I think that if he come back, they would have to back him. Otherwise, I don't think he'd come. He'd have to have some sort of agreement.
Right, back to present time. First of all, Moondog, thank you for the super chat. Says he'd take him back in a heartbeat, as would I. Yeah. And I'd give him so much love, he wouldn't know what to do with it all. But the team for tonight's match under Thomas Frank is out, and we have Vicario in goal, Dragushin, Xavi, Bissouma, Gray, Solanke, Gallagher, Spence, Odebert, Sarr, Van der Ven. Okay. No Tell. No Souza. Paulinia's not playing. On the bench, we've got Kinski, Paulinia, Tell, Souza, Mawani, Aloisi, Byfield, Williams, Barnett, and Rosewell. So at the back, you've got probably Gray at the back with Dragushin and Van der Ven. Well, I'll come to you guys. I'll come to Harry first. What do you make of the team?
Listen, I've been behind Thomas Frank, and people still don't like it. But I would say, got to be careful the way I word it because it doesn't go down well. But I am still behind him now because I know that the manager's not the problem at Tottenham. Doesn't mean that you're not. You can get blame. Let's just say he's definitely at fault for a lot of things, but not the main problem. Just in my opinion, I'm not going to tell you they're wrong or I'm right because that's just not the way it works. But with this team, what's he doing? What's he doing? I mean, listen, Newcastle are a physical side even without Joe Linton. Common sense tells you, I'm not a football manager and I never will be, right? But common sense for me tells you that Paulini's physicality and aggression's needed in this game. That for me stands out to me as really, he's been one of our best players this year. Also, Newcastle are a defensive team. We don't need this. We don't need, all these defensive players in one team. And once again, it's square pegs in round holes. Why? Why? You've got the likes of the youth academy to turn to. You have got players on the bench. We're down to the bare bones, but use those few bare bones left in the right way. Stop putting them in the wrong position. So I like Frank, but this does need calling out, right? Mattis tells the player that when he's played, he's shown confidence and goals. When a player's on good form, you don't take them out of the team. That's your general rule of thumb. Of course, you've got to rotate the team, but he's now consistently not starting games. If he's not starting games now, imagine when Maddison comes back, Kulusevski comes back, all these players come back. Tell might not even get on the bench. He might even get in this squad, which we've seen before, of course, in Europe. So I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with this at all. I can understand Basuma a little bit, but at the same time, if he dilly-dallies on the ball, again, we can't need that. So for me right now, I think that's the wrong pick. Again, I'd rather see Sousa at left back, really. Someone who's more natural in that position. Someone who's quick, can deal with Newcastle. I haven't seen the team, so your pure guess could be completely wrong. I'd take a punt, say that probably Harvey Barnes on that side if Gordon's fit. So, yeah, no, honestly, I'm not happy with the team at all.
Moondog coming in with another super chat saying the manager is shy at end of. It's difficult to argue with you, Moondog. I've got to be honest. It's difficult. I know we're down to the bare bones, but I completely agree with you, Harry. I don't think this is the team that I personally would have picked. Big up, Nathan. Dermot, what are you thinking? I mean, it's different to how I thought it would be the team, but what's your thoughts?
I'm sorry, Harry. This is the reason why Thomas Frank has to go. This is the reason why we have to sack this manager. He is a clown picking a team that we're paying. I would agree we're paying a very physical Newcastle side. So use Palunia. Use the players you know are going to put a foot in, and use players in that midfield that you know that is going to give you a good start. Start Tell. Stell will cause a bit of havoc down the wings. Of course he will. I don't know what Tell's done to Thomas Frank to pee him off that much. He won't even start him. And I just think you look at the Newcastle side I just have. They're going to run over that midfield. They're going to literally run over us. And I think this is the reason why everyone is the majority are against Thomas Frank, because of situations like this. Tonight's about winning. It's the biggest game of the season. We need players in there that are going to put a foot in, tackle, fight, be little Jack Russells in there, nibble at the heels at the Newcastle midfield. And we haven't got that. Bazoon, he'll be chasing balloons around all night, trying to find the latest balloon. We've got, whoever's got Sarr in the 10. Yeah, Sarr's coming into a bit of form. Do you know, it's just for me, do you know what, guys? I hope I'm wrong, but I've just got a feeling in my stomach this could go belly up very early. If we go 2 or 3 down early, I think this is the reason why. And Thomas Frank, I think you need to pick up your B45 if that's the case.
Jimbo, before I bring up the Newcastle team, anything you want to add to your thoughts on the lineup?
No, I mean, I don't really know what to say, Kate. I mean, I don't know what to say. It seems like the board, Enoch and Frank, don't think we can get relegated. That's what it looks like to me. You know, how he hasn't got Paulinho in there. He's the one who gets them all G'd up and going. You know, pumping the fist when he does a crucial tackle. He winds them all up to get them all. I don't know. It's like they're not taking it serious. Someone just put in the chat about us getting relegated. You know, that people don't seem to think it can happen. I tell you now, right? I personally think there's more chance we get relegated than we stay up. We've won 2 games in 16, right? We haven't won at home this season. And I'm sorry, I know this is a pump up, but this is like serious shit now that we might be going down to the championship.
It's a therapy session, not a pump up. It's a therapy session.
If I had to put money on, I would put money on more. We're going down and staying up. We make our own downfall. We give West Ham the kickstart they needed, right? We did this to them once before as well. Lost to them and give them a kickstart they needed to get out of the relegation battle. This ain't the first time. We win that game against West Ham, right? Everything's different. But they couldn't even beat a West Ham team that hadn't won in something like 11 games.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just so dejected with it. I've never felt such a disconnection to this club as I do now.
The Newcastle team is out. Thank God they're not full strength because they've got some injuries, but they've put a strange team out. They've got Pope in goal, Trippier, Botman, Anthony Gordon starts. I thought he was injured, but he's back. Harvey Barnes, Theo Alanga, Willock, Byrne, Bruno Guimaraes, and Ramsey. And on the bench, they've got Ramsdale, Hall, Tonali, Wissa, Osula, Murphy, Voltemada, other Murphy, and Shahar. I mean, when you compare, Go on.
Can I just say something, Coach? Do you know what? Our survival, right, is going to be relying on people like Man United to beat West Ham and going forward. That's what it's going to rely on.
Do you know what, Jim? I've just done that. I've got a Man United fan, and I have actually WhatsApp said, I'm hoping you can do us a favour tonight.
That's what it's going to be relying on from now.
I agree with you, Jim, 100%. I totally agree with that.
Other teams are going to do us a favour.
Yeah.
Harry, there was a lot of talk that, a lot of people in the chat are saying Newcastle have gone with a weird team. But when I look at their players like Elanga, Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, they're scary players to me that can do damage. And then when you look at their bench with the likes of Voltamada, Tonali, Wissa on the bench, they've got a good team out. I mean, everyone was saying they're really struggling with injuries, but they've got a good team out there.
Absolutely, he's gone with a really strong team. There's some prizes in that lineup. They've gone with neither Vissa or Voltamada, if I'm not mistaken, which is a huge surprise. And I spoke to 4 Newcastle fans on my channel, all doing different content, and one being the biggest Newcastle YouTuber, Adam Pearson. And they all said the same thing to me, that they need to find a way of getting both their strikers in the lineup because neither are performing. They in their words, that Vissa's start to life at Newcastle was unacceptable and quite disgraceful. That's how the language they used. And Voltamada as well, his form's dried up. Eddie Howe's not getting the best of him. So Newcastle fans are calling for to get the 2 strikers involved, particularly Voltamada, and leave them start. So that's interesting, which suggests the false 9. If I had to predict, probably Anthony Gordon maybe in the false 9, although Alanga's capable of doing it. But no, they're big players in there. But listen, Thomas, you make it really hard to defend you when you know this is a physical opponent. Honestly, it frustrates me though because Newcastle are a physical opponent, and I know that, you know that, we all know that. Right, with or without Joelinton, Paulini's got to be in there. We've got 12 days, as people keep saying, till our next game. Paulini is one of our best players. He's been our best performing midfielder, in my view, this season. Why is he not in the team? Tell should be in there. Drop Simmons back. Stop being defensive and be more attacking. At home, come on, handbrake off, have a go, give the fans something to get behind, because that's the thing, right? You're saying the wrong thing to the media. You're saying fans need to get behind the team. I always have and always will. People will as well. And they've been with the team and Thomas Frank for the last couple of games because they've had a little bit of something to get behind. With a team like this, there's nothing to get behind. And we've got to be worried about this game. It's a weird lineup for Newcastle. A positive being that we can target Trippier. That's a real area of target at 35 years of age. Mistakes creeping every week into his game. So we've got to look at positives. Pope as well. No confidence with him in goal at the moment. So we can beat this Newcastle team. It's a catastrophic, I go as far as saying that, catastrophic lineup, and we know what the tactics will be, and neither team want the ball. That's the thing. Both teams want the win, but neither teams want the ball, and they're going to be really defensive, so not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. Moondog with another super chat. Thank you very much. Says Dragushin is another average player. I think he's done well so far when he's been called upon, but we need him to be on... Well, we need them all to be on their A game tonight. I think it's as easy as that. We need them all to be on their A game. The funny thing is, Newcastle's away record, they've won 2, drawn 4, lost 6. Tottenham's home record, 1, 2, drawn 4, lost 6. It literally couldn't be any closer than that. However, clean sheets, despite their lack of wins, majority of Newcastle's clean sheets this season have actually been kept in away matches. And we all know that Tottenham aren't scoring loads of goals at the minute. I mean, Dermot, when you look at those stats with their away record, our home record, it is one of those games where it literally anything could happen.
Yeah, it is. What's it? Newcastle only 1 win in the last 5. Tottenham haven't won at all since December. So both teams are not in great form. I agree with you. Anything can happen. I just want to say one thing about the lineup, if it's all right, Kate. If I can just say, why not have put Palunia in there with Mickey van der Ven? Because I think I would that. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't done that. I think Newcastle will look in that lineup thinking that defense is gettable. That defense is gettable, and and look, there's pressure on Eddie Howe. But there's more pressure on Thomas Frank. And I just wonder, and maybe Harry may disagree with me on this, that's my opinion, but I wonder if this is the final throw of a desperate manager tonight. It's just, I wonder if he knows something we don't, and the board has said to him, right, you need to get something tonight. And he's saying, do you know what? I'm just going to go for it and pick a team I mean, that is, I can't get over the lineup, but anything could happen. It could end up 0-0 or 4-4.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
I'll tell you one thing. I guarantee Basuma messes up and gives them a chance. If they take it or not, I don't know, but
I think Dragonson as well, Jim, will mess up as well.
Doing that, Basuma, trying to be too clever.
This is why I put Palhinha in there. You either put him in the midfield or you put him in the centre back. If you put him in the centre back, I think it secures your back four a lot more than what it is on the Dragonson. Or you put him in the midfield, it secures your midfield. You stick him in front of the back four, and then you've got that little bit of a buffer. But it could end up anyway. To answer your question, could end up 0-0, 4-4. We don't know, but just that stat that Newcastle have got most of their away clean sheets away from home is worrying. Just hope Solanke's on fire tonight.
Big up Destiny with Super Chat says this team selection screams sack me now from Frank. I mean, to be fair, if I was going to get sacked and get 18-20 million pound payoff, I wouldn't be that worried. Poor Lady Webb said, I've never seen Jimbo so dejected. It's a sad day. It is a sad day, Jimbo, but we've got to look at a little bit of positivity. I'm going to try and inject some positivity and say Xavi Simons, Solanke, both looking like they're hitting some good form. You know, we have got players there that can change a game. Do you see us scoring some goals tonight?
Well, I told you, I dreamt last night we beat them 3-1. So that's what the positivity. I woke up, I went to Kate, you ain't going to believe it, I dreamt we beat Newcastle 3-1. So that's the positivity I'm going to take out of it. But I don't know, Kate. I always go upbeat into games, and I feel so confident. You know, when we're doing well, or even not doing great, I still think we're capable of beating anyone. But I just think to myself, we can't beat Burnley, we can't beat Wolves, we can't beat West Ham. We've got a terrible record against Newcastle. We've got an even worse record against Arsenal our next two games, and I just think, you know what? If other teams don't do us a favour with the teams around us, we're in such big trouble. It's unbelievable because we just can't buy a win at the minute. We can't buy a win against a lower team, let alone a decent team. You know, they're all decent in their own way, but someone like Newcastle, if it's at Newcastle, there's no way we win this game. But because it's at home, right, I'm hoping the crowd will get them going and we see where we end up.
Moondog with Super Chat saying wound himself up now. Leo is saying, I think he's going for it. Come on, homies. We fielded the best possible attacking-ish 11. We got to take it game by game, and today we've got to go out and try. This lineup will, I don't know what it will do, but it might do it. Look, no one knows what's going to happen. I just saw David Clark put the tickets for the South Stand was something like 94 quid or something, which is an absolute disgrace.
You would think that they'd be selling the tickets cheaper to fill the place out, to get the atmosphere in there, to get the team going. But this hierarchy, there's just no words to describe them. I'm not going to swear because if I do, I'll go into a proper rant. There's no words to describe them. They don't do anything to make things easier for the football team. Everything they do is makes it harder. You know, they're just a real bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
I don't think that they think Tottenham's too big to get relegated. I think I remember someone saying that about Leeds. Oh, I think I remember someone saying that about Aston Villa. Oh, I think I remember
West Ham
saying that about West Ham. West Ham had a phenomenal team when they went down.
Yeah. Newcastle's away form has been characterised by defensive resilience, but a lack of attacking threat, scoring an average of just 0.9 goals per game on the road. With the fact that Spurs aren't scoring a lot of goals, you would fancy this is going to not be a goal fest. Another major issue for Eddie Howe has been holding on to Leeds. They've dropped 19 points from winning positions this season, more than any other Premier League team. I mean, Harry, are you surprised? Because I'm quite surprised at how much Newcastle have dropped. I mean, obviously they lost Isak, but are you surprised that their form is like it is?
I'm surprised where they are on the table, but I'm someone that tries to be positive, and the big reason I've been behind Frank is that I know, and it's unlikely, but you win, let's say, the next 2 or 3 games, which is very difficult with the games we've got and the way we're playing. I'm not silly, I acknowledge that, but all of a sudden you're in the top 8, boom, instantly like that. And for Newcastle, they win tonight and they win their next game. They've got a little bit of a break till Premier League action, but when they play in 10, 12 days' time, they get a result, all of a sudden they're back in the top 10. So I don't think he's panic stations, because talking to Newcastle fans again, they're still talking about aims of Europe. And when I asked them about the potential of getting sucked into a relegation battle, they took it seriously, but they, were quite dismissive of that. So, for me, I think Newcastle, they've struggled. I think it's a case of they spend a lot of money in the summer and it's not together. Then no activity in January wasn't helpful at all. And they've got, for me, the situation is they don't know the best striker. They haven't found the best formation, and they haven't nailed down a number 1 goalkeeper. They've got Ramsdale and Pope, need to put them together because Ramsdale's good with his feet. And, it's just the qualities, they don't really go together. And Newcastle, when you're chopping and changing your number 1, chopping and changing your striker, it's really confusing for Newcastle at the moment. They need to find a formation that really brings Nick Voltemada back into play. Nobody knew how to deal with him when he comes to the Premier League. Everybody knows now, because he's a tall striker that's good with his feet and he's not very good with his head. He's typically better as a 10. So to see neither of them in the lineup when they both should be in there is bold. But for Tottenham, we've got to keep an eye on the likes of Harvey Barnes, such a clinical finisher. Gordon's dangerous, but doesn't really have that clinical edge necessarily. So we have to be careful in this game. And the likes of Willock haven't really started many games. So potentially some, little bit of, poor performance there potentially from him, something to capitalise on, to be eager on the press. But I'm still confident that Tottenham can turn it around. But these games coming up, we cannot, like Jimbo says, have this mentality that we're too good to go down. Sitting there right now, I don't think we will, if I'm being honest with you, but we cannot be going into it going, we're going to be okay, right? And the mindset's got to be, we've got to win every game. We've got to think about just one game at a time. We've got to treat it like a final. So I'm telling myself that we'll work our way up the table. I'm telling myself that we're going to continue to progress in Champions League. But Newcastle are interesting. Just 2 away wins, without boring people. 2 home wins as well for Tottenham. They cancel out each other. And Newcastle, when they go into a lead, they slump. They get defensive. And if you watch Newcastle every week, which I've tried to do, this season, try and watch most clubs, they've been very similar to us. They take the lead, they get complacent. They sit in a shape, drilled by the manager, and they get complacent. They allow shots outside the box. Lastly, both Eddie Howe and Thomas Frank have this belief, and they've said it themselves. It's that if you now, I'm not great at tactics. I do a tiny bit of analysis on it, and a little bit of analysis I've done this week tells me that both Frank and Eddie Howe don't believe in pressing from outside the box. They don't believe in stopping the shot outside the box, is a better way of putting it. They view it as a low XG chance, because statistically it is, but both teams concede a lot of goals at the edge of the box, because Frank believes in, as well, in particular, retaining your position, so don't go out and press. That's why we concede the first goal against United. This is coming from someone that likes Frank. That's a tactic that's not helping us. Another as well, I want Frank to change tonight. When we take a goal kick, he says often has them in defensive positions, and we never win the first header, often win the second but not the first. I want Frank to view that first header as important as a second. But Eddie Howe and Newcastle, interesting side, a little bit of pressure on him. But unlike Frank, he's got credit in the bank, and that's why he'll be here till the end of the year.
Yeah. Notably, this is the most played fixture in Premier League history to never, ever finish in a 0-0 draw. That's in 61 matches. I find that incredible.
How to be 0-0 now.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And I was just going to say, and Tottenham have struggled for efficiency at home, averaging just 1.3 goals per game. So, like I say, they're 1.3. Newcastle's 0 point something. So you would think, Dermot, this isn't going to be a goal fest. I know you said 4-0 at the start of the show, but if you go by stats alone and you looked at this, you'd think, it's going to be a close game with not a lot of goals. Do you see that being the case, or do you see it being wide open?
No, I think if stats look at it, it's going to be 0-0. Jim's right. It is going to be 0-0 tonight. It's about, I think whoever takes their chances wins tonight. And it's about the strikers taking their chances. And it's about us creating chances for us. I mean, if you look between, I hate using it, but I found the stat today as well. After the first 25 Premier League games of last season and this year, we've scored 2 less goals than we did on the ranch. Ange got 49 goals. We've scored 35. So from last season, our goal scoring has gone down. We got 1 fewer points, but we were 12th this time last year. And we finished 17th. We start today in 15th. And I think tonight's about taking our chances, about taking the opportunities that are given to us and grabbing them. and putting the ball in the back of the net. We know Newcastle can be got at. I watched the game at their Brentford game on the weekend, and I think there was a game they should have won, Newcastle, but Brentford took their chances. And we've got to do it tonight. We've got Solanke. What's it now? 5 goals in 10 appearances or something like that since his return. Like that, I think the stat like that. He's got to take his chances tonight. Odebear's got to put the crosses in and take his chances. Xavi's got to turn up tonight and make it difficult for that Newcastle defence. And Sarr as well, as playing in the 10 role, he's got to be the effective 10 to really help Solanke, bring him into the game. And what I want Solanke to do, and I love how he does it, he comes deep, he picks up the ball. That allows your wingers to get around you, the wingers to get into spaces, and we need to do that more. We're playing at home. We've got to be more attack-minded. And this, for me, I just want us to take our opportunities. If you don't take your opportunities, you don't win football matches.
Yeah.
It's all about taking the opportunities that are given to you. And both teams haven't done that. We need to do it tonight if we want to survive.
Talking about a very poor goal ratio, we've only got 54 likes and there's 561 in the chat. So please smash a like, or I will end up like Thomas Frank getting my P45 from the lads as well. Jimbo, your big saving grace for tonight was you said, I'm so glad Anthony Gordon's not playing because he always has a good game against us. And he's in the starting lineup. Is he the player that worries you the most?
He always scores one. He always scores one on the inside of the post, between the goalkeeper and the post. What was your question? Sorry. You mentioned Anthony Gordon and my mind went...
I said, is he the player you're most concerned about for Newcastle?
He just seems to play well against us. Okay, he does. Him and Barnes. Look, I'm just worried about everyone we play. You know, we play Burnley, we play Wolves. I worry about everyone we play. I just do at the minute. And I know you're confident we'll stay up, Harry, but look, if we win tonight and Man United beat West Ham, I'll be sleeping a lot better tonight. But if we lose tonight and West Ham get anything out of Man United game, well, you can. I mean, I don't want to. I'm sounding like so negative here, but it's just so realistic that what I'm talking about can happen.
The thing is with West Ham as well, they've got a very good record against Manchester United. However, obviously, we know where the teams are at the minute. So,
I personally think that West Ham won't get nothing out of this Man United team the way they're playing tonight. I don't think they will. So, I in my head, I've got it. If we lose, the gap's still going to be 6 points. But I've been wrong so many times to do with football. One more time won't make a difference.
You're wrong about most things, darling. Let's be fair. Harry, I'm just going to ask you a question. Out of 100%, how confident are you that Spurs don't get relegated?
This is a good question. 100%. 100%. But although I will say that because for me, this comes down to just me more of an individual rather than what I think. I don't do any in between. So I do, either no or absolutes. That's me. And, I'm absolutely on the opinion that we won't. However, I cannot express enough before this gets taken out of context. Every club can be at risk of going down, right? When it's not a case of we're too good to go down. I don't buy that. That angers me because that's entitlement beyond belief. This team, it doesn't matter what players you've got. You could be relegated. So you've got to be very careful. But I'm still part of it's youth, being honest with you. I try and look at the positives in anything. I look at our games coming up, though, having said that, and it is difficult to find us getting a result. I just think that as the games go by, like Leeds United's fixtures, they get tougher. Forest are really struggling. I believe they go through just about maybe against Fenerbahce. They have more games and they're going to struggle a little bit in the league. So it's difficult. I can't see us being where we want to be in the league, but I can't see us at this moment going down. I can't see us going down, but this could come back to haunt me. I hope not. But I believe that we have enough in us. I think players will come back in key points, March, April time, and really propel us up the table. I think we'll end really strong. But again, that's just me being positive. But I'm going to say we're not going to go down. but I can understand why the conversation is being had, and we cannot, turn our eyes away from it. We cannot, completely ignore the threat of relegation because it's real. 6 points adrift. I think West Ham only get a draw max tonight, if I'm honest with you, and I don't think we lose this game personally. But again, you don't know. I'm going to say we're not going to go down. I'm going to back my side 100%, but I get the real concern.
I'm going to call you 100% Harry from now on. Dermatron.
Just let me say, that's coming from a young man that hasn't seen the football that we've seen with some of the teams that have got relegated.
Well, let's wait and see what everyone else's percentages are first. What's your percentage?
If I was Harry's age, I'd have a massive stiffy going, yeah, of course we'll stay up.
During the war. Sorry, Dermot, what percentage are you sure that Tottenham won't get relegated?
Those were the days, weren't they, Jim? When we were young. Them were the days. Look, I can remember when Ozzy nearly took us down in 93, 94, when we went to Oldham to get a 2-1 win to stay up. I know we lost to QPR the last home game of the season, 4-1. I can remember back when we had to bring Klinsmann back to save us. So I don't know. I was born the year we went down. I was born in 77. The year we got relegated, so it was my fault if anyone wants to blame me for that. And I've seen this in a couple of relegation scraps since. I'm going for 50%, 50-50. I've got no confidence in this team. I have no confidence in this manager. All that could keep us up is other teams around us failing as well and mucking up themselves. West Ham will be up to beat Man United tonight. No way. They've got a sniff of getting out of trouble. They've got a sniff of that in their tails. And for them to put Tottenham into that expense, they're going to be even more up for it. I think Forest will pick up points. I've watched Leeds a lot this year. I think Leeds are a good side, and I think Leeds will be safe. We need to find wins, but where we're going to get them, where we're going to pick up the 3 wins. 40 points for me is the safety margin this year. I worked out. So where we're going to get the 3 or 4 wins we need to stay up. It's going to be tight. And we've got games against Forest at home, Leeds at home. These are the games. And tonight we've got to win.
Yeah.
50 for me. I don't want to sound negative, Kate, but it's 50-50 for me.
Oh, it's purely opinion. I just am interested. Big Up Moondog says we had a better team than this when we went down. Yeah. Jimbo, come and then give us your prediction.
What,
the relegation chance.
What, going down? For me, it's 50%. Yeah. Every game now is a crucial game, right? And every game that our opponents play, the ones around us, is a crucial game, right? I still think Forest is going to get sucked into it. I do. I think they're going to get sucked into it as well. But it's every game. I think we need 3 wins and we'll be all right. But 13 games left, and we should be able to get 3 wins out of that over the next 4 weeks. We got this game and one more, haven't we? Or is this the last game? 3?
No, this is the last game until Sunday week because it's the FA Cup weekend, and then next Sunday it's Arsenal, which we're not going to be doing the pump up or the therapy session for. Which secretly I'm quite pleased about. Dermatron, you've got that. You've got to do that pump up show.
Thank you. You've dropped me right. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Come on. Yes, the loony's been let loose in the asylum. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's 50-50, Kate. Every game's crucial now, right? Every game means something now. Every game is an FA Cup final. So, Harry, I'm really glad you're that confident. But if you'd have seen some of the football I've seen over the years with some better teams than what we've got,
yeah, absolutely,
it's in massive trouble. And
I can see that.
I mean, it's an absolute joke that we're even in this position. And I think if Frank had been a better manager, we wouldn't be in this position. Can
I ask you guys a question, Kate and Jim? I'm sorry, I'm not pointing out Harry because this is round. Do you remember the year we nearly went down with Ozzy in that year?
Yeah.
Was that a worse season then to this season? Because I can see similarities between the 2 seasons. We had a major injury crisis back then as well, didn't we? We lost Eddie Sheringham for most of the season. We couldn't win to save our lives. Is that worse or is this worse than that?
it's
This is the
completely
worst
different.
season I've ever known, Dermot, really,
Yeah.
if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
And whether that's because I'm doing a social media podcast, I don't know. But for me, it's the worst I've ever known.
It's completely different because under Ozzy it was just kamikaze football. You know,
Yeah, it was.
if they scored 4, we scored 5. That's what his game plan was. If they scored 3, we'd score 4. It was just absolutely kamikaze football. Where this one is a bit, I just think unorganised. You know, he hasn't took the ball by the horns with this team, right, and gone for it. And when we played people like Burnley and Wolves, you know, instead of like sitting back, he should have gone for it, and we would have won them games. You know, we would have beat them if we'd have gone for it. I'm convinced of that. But with all this far arsing around, you know, sitting back and, you know, back fives and to me, it's just he shot us in the foot by doing that.
Yeah, he did.
I am going to be, I think Jimbo and I have swapped personalities because I am actually 75% sure we'll stay up. 25% of me is terrified, but 75% of me thinks we'll be fine. And I've just asked Archie, the psychic cat, and he said he's with Harry and he thinks 100% we stay up. So Archie's never wrong. So yeah, that's what everyone's saying. And to be fair, the cat would probably do a better job as manager, as long as you give him biscuits, he'll be fine. But it is that time where we are looking for score predictions and goal scorers. So Harry, I'm going to come to you first and ask you what you think the score is going to be tonight and who's going to score the goals.
It's one of them, isn't it? I said earlier, Spurs' home form is dreadful. I hate home games as a season ticket holder. I'm not there tonight because my dad is at work and a commitment on here, but usually I would be there. Just for me, it's toxic at the moment and we really struggle at home. Newcastle struggle away, has a draw written all over it. I'm going to go with 1-1. I don't see, too many goals in this one. I think it'd be quite a tight, cagey affair. Both managers, more on the conservative side, but hopefully we can get result, fully behind the manager, the players and the team for tonight. And listen, I'm not turning a blind eye to the fact they're in a dangerous situation. If I'm being honest with you, I think that the first part of March will actually slip into 18th position because we've got Arsenal and Fulham next. And I think we could slip into the bottom 3 actually, but I don't think we'll be there very long. It's just my thinking. I look at our games coming up. I think they're winnable games in there. Brighton, for example, Forest, Wolves, Everton. I think these are all games that we can win. Not saying we're going to, but I think we can win if we get it right. Again, we are sleepwalking at the moment into something quite uncomfortable, so we have to be careful. But I am going to back my side in this game 1-1.
Who scores for Spurs?
Great question. I think Simmons. I'm hoping he comes up on that left-hand side. I'd prefer him in the 10, but if he comes up the left-hand side against Trippier, he's toast. And Trippier, of course, former Spurs player, have a lot of time for him, but at 35 years of age, he hasn't got the pace and mistakes are really creeping in. We've seen that in the last 2 games he's been involved in. So Spurs have to target that. Really do have to target that side. And for me, this game has tell written all over it. It really does in terms of he brings pace and energy. Newcastle can't handle that. So I'm really angry that he's not in there. But yeah, I think Simmons gets the goal.
Yeah, I'm actually agreeing with David Clark. Despite all the stats I've given about there being lack of goals, I'm actually going for a 2-2 and I'm going to go for Solanke and Van der Ven to get the goals. And I did ask Archie and he said 1-0 to Newcastle. So don't kick the cat.
No.
Oh, no, he didn't. He just told me he said 3-1 to Newcastle. So don't kill the cat, but I can only tell you what he told me. And some may say he's a realist. We'll see at the end of the 90 minutes. 2-1 Spurs, Archie to score extra time. Don't mention Dr. Tottenham. Joey Boy says 1-0 late goal for Tottenham. Sunshine of Spurs says 2-1 Tottenham, Solanke and Simmons. My prediction, 1 bowl of Cheetos, a Dr. Pepper and 6-1 Spurs. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to just comfortably win a game? 2-1 Spurs, come on, says Lady Webb. 1-1. 2-1 Spurs, 1-1, 3-1 Newcastle. See, that's what the cat said. 2-1, we're winning. 3-1 Newcastle. Solanke will get ours. Oh, God. Hotspur Sam says, 65 years a fan, and this is the worst for me. After Burnley opening day, we haven't controlled any games. I can't disagree. 3-1 Spurs, 6-1 Newcastle. Oh, for God's sake. 2-1 the Toon says Mama Flossie is obviously a big Newcastle fan. 3-0 Newcastle. Oh, dear. Let's have some positive vibes. Spurs to win tonight and not get relegated. That would be nice. Dermatron, what are you fancying for? So yeah, look, everyone hates the cat now. He was really cute just now, but now he said 3-1. Everyone hates him. They're all thinking cat pie.
Oh,
Dermot, what
poor
are you
little
thinking?
Archie. I think
I
it's
know.
cute.
I know.
Leave the cat
What are you
alone.
thinking?
Curiosity got the cat. They were a good band as well back in the day.
They were.
They were a very good band back in the day. I was more of a Duran Duran and Bowie fan back when I was younger, and Queen fan for me. I was more.
I love all them.
Yeah, I was. Score prediction tonight. Look, shall I go sensible or shall I just go delusional? I'm going to go delusional. I'm going for a 3-1 Spurs win. We're going to win. Thomas Frank will still get the sack because he's just Thomas Frank. I'm sorry, Harry. I'm sure Harry's got a little voodoo doll there. He's going to get darts out tonight. Go, right, Dermo's getting it. Dermo's getting it now. But yeah, I'm going for 3-1 Spurs. I go for Newcastle to go 1 through Bruno. And then I think for Tottenham, Solanke with a hat trick tonight, I think.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'm kind of at the same agreement. A lot of people have asking, do you think Frank will go if we lose? I think Frank stays until the summer, no matter what. I think they've made their mind up now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I said to Jim, they are kind of on a lose-lose with the situation they're in now, because if they keep them and we go down... Hang on, can I finish, please? Please let me finish or I'll forget, Jim. You know what my menopausal brain is like. If they keep him till the end of the season, we go down, they'll be criticised. But if they get rid of him and we still go down, they'll be criticised. So they're in a lose-lose.
No, they're not. They're
Go
not.
on then, Jim.
They ain't a lose-lose. We couldn't be in worse fucking form. I'm sorry, but we couldn't be. How can we be any worse than what we are? Right? Look, I just spoke to Bonnie. I said to her, what's the score going to be? She said, I don't give a shit. Give me a bone and I'll be happy. But if the job's up at Tottenham, I'll take it and keep us up. That's my dog said she can keep us up. Honestly, it's not a win. It's not. We couldn't be any worse, Kate. We couldn't. You know, we couldn't.
Well, being that we're that bad, what's your score prediction?
Well, I dreamt we're going to win 3-1, so I'm going to stick with that.
Oh, well, we must be terrible then.
Oh, I dreamt it, so I'm going to stick with it.
Who did you dream scored?
I don't know scores. All I know is I woke up with 1-3-1.
Jim got a hat trick.
I'm going to go
That's who scored.
Solanke to score 2, and I'm going to go with Xavi to score 1.
Okay. Well, there you heard.
Can I just say, Kate, just very quickly, my Mrs. Tron just said she knows how you feel.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, if I don't say exactly what I need to say at the time or write it down, I completely forget what I was going to say in the first place, and that's so infuriating. What do you get if you cross Jimbo with a cat? Men, pause. Exactly. But look, we'll see. Jimbo, someone dreamt about Margot Robbie, but last time Jim had a dream, he dreamt we won and we lost. So take no notice of Jimbo, for goodness sake.
Last time I dreamt we won, did we lose?
Yes.
Did we?
So the day you wake up and say you dreamt we lost, I'm going to feel kind of excited that we probably are actually going to win. But until that moment, I'm not taking any notice of anything you say.
Yeah, but if you dream about you had noughties with Margot Robbie, right, you'll wake up with a smile on your face.
Yeah, but not with Margot Robbie in your bed. But anyway.
You, darling, it's better.
No, thank you. Harry, what's going on? Thank you as always for coming on. What's going on over on your lovely channel?
Oh, firstly, thank you so much for having me, and big up to the chat. I mean, lots of people won't agree with my opinions. I recognise they're not always of the norm, but listen, every opinion, I'd love to hear different thoughts. And I love coming on here and to be a regular on the pump ups, the therapy sessions, whatever we want to call it, this year. And then I'll be doing some in-person stuff with the guys as well. We have Tottenham TV, so really delighted about that coming up. So it should be great. But no, I'm a 17-year-old football content creator, and 2025 is a special year for me, where I won Britain's Best Young Football Content Creator, which is a huge honour because there's so many amazing people out there. So that was a big honour. So thank you to everyone that continues to support me. I always use my YouTube channel as a safe space, and for disabled people and those with learning disabilities. As someone who's autistic myself, not many places are suitable environments and opportunities to speak and be heard. So to have 83 people on last year with learning disabilities meant a lot. And this week, big news for me to join a charity as a young ambassador and get public speaking opportunities, you know, to really stand up for autistic people. So no, I'm delighted that some stuff is going on, and it wouldn't be, you know, without the amazing people in the chat that continue to support. So thank you so much, and it means a lot. But listen, I may be deluded, and you know, I've conceded some of that, some of my opinions I come out with. But for me, you know, for my YouTube channel, what means the most is I can use my platform in a positive way to speak up for people that, you know, either can't, or, you know, too afraid to do so, or, you know, just need a voice. Because, you know, for me in this country, people with learning disabilities are being failed, you know, even outside of football. So I do all I can to change that.
Big up, Harry. Make sure everyone goes over and subs to Harry Scarf. Dermatron, what is going on over at THFC Till We Die?
Yeah, we've got watch along tonight. We've got After the Whistle, and then we've got play ratings tomorrow. I'm taking a few days off. Mrs. Tron's taking me away for a few days for a late.
Oi, oi, Savaloy. Oi, oi.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, look, go and forget all things Tottenham. That is the plan. And then back Friday with shows, and then shows next week. We're going to do, I think one of the shows is this the worst front three we've ever seen at Spurs? We're going to do.
She should have took you away to make the Arsenal weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a better idea. But no, me being a complete goblin for Tottenham, I have to go. North London derby. That's passion. That is a game we have to win. But yeah, we've had a great growth, a bit like Harry, autistic myself. So yeah, I do understand what Harry's doing. So do get over to Harry. He's doing some great job on that sort of work on the side of the YouTube as well. But yeah, we're growing. We had a big growth spurt there at the end of last year, and it's continued into 2026. So yeah, we're growing. So we're aiming to get to 3K before the end of the season, and then 10K. That's my aim. But yeah, if you like what I have to say, come over here, and I'll see you guys for the pump up on Arsenal. Be nice to me, please. Be nice to me. Thank you, Harry.
And if you want to, do come over to Kate and Jimbo. We do lunchtime shows, not every day. We've got a charity stream coming up for Legend on the Bench, Mickey Hazard's suicide prevention and mental health charity, which we're partners of. So yeah, just come over and give us a sub. It's quite light-hearted over there. It's normally me just having a go at Jimbo most of the time. But, you know, if you like to see a wife having a go at their husband, then come along. But yeah, just sub to all the Spurs content creators, because, you know, we've all got different opinions, and it's good to listen to everyone else's. But I just want to say a massive big up to Moondog, who's done several super chats this evening. Thank you so much for the support, as always. Destiny 5 as well with a super chat. And yeah, you guys are amazing. And yeah, Jimbo and I won't be here for the Arsenal pump up, because we are at a party the Saturday before, and the Sunday is my niece's birthday. So Dermot will be taking the reins. The 21st, yeah. So Dermot will be taking the reins. So be gentle. But now, enjoy the game. Keep everything crossed that we win and West Ham lose. And as always, guys, keep the faith, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on.